From Turner Field in Atlanta, it's time for Braves baseball. Tonight it's Game 2 of our brief series with the Cincinnati Reds. The Braves come into play tonight at 22-14, a chance to take over first place with a victory in Game 2 tonight. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. Good evening, friends. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Chip Carey with you. Tom Hart will be along in just a few minutes. The Reds won last night. 3-1 was the final score. And, fellas, as bad as it was for the Braves to lose the ball game, it was also a costly loss for Freddie Freeman, not in the lineup tonight.
Well, let's hope it's only for one day, Chip. I talked to Freddie just a few minutes ago, and he actually said on his right eye, which was the one we thought was most affected, that he had a scratch on it. He said he put 7 different contacts in his right eye, but he found out today that he had a scratch right down the middle of his eye. He also had an abrasion on his left eye, and they're working to correct that today too. But he's gotten some medicine. He got some treatment from Dr. Kozarski today. It may just be one game. It could possibly be a couple, 3 more, depending on how fast that eye heals.
All that, and he's having an all-star year. Imagine what he'd be doing if his eyes were good. So, it'll have a little bit of a ripple effect. I mean, anytime you take your number 3 guy out of the lineup, it's going to have an effect. And certainly Freddie has solidified himself as that number 3 guy in this lineup. So guys are going to move around. You're going to see Chipper back in his familiar spot that he occupied for so many years in the 3-hole. Eric Hinske will get a chance tonight. So, there'll be a little bit of shuffling around, but I think everybody will feel good about Chipper in the 3-hole. And certainly Eric, I'm sure, is excited about getting an opportunity to get some at-bats tonight.
And let's get some runs. The Reds held the Braves to only 1 in the series opener, and tonight's pitching matchup is a dandy. Runs might be tough to come by tonight. We will take a look at tonight's pitching matchup when we return to Turner Field for more right after this. Field, Game 2 of our series between the Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. Welcome back upstairs here at the ballpark, where we have a terrific pitching matchup tonight. Johnny Cueto, undefeated, going for Cincinnati, and Tim Hudson, who deserves a much better record than 1-1, pitches for the Braves tonight.
Yeah, Huddy's been throwing the ball really well. He got off to a little bit of a difficult start in Colorado 2 starts ago, which kind of had a typical Colorado outing. Gave up 7 runs, but gave the team an opportunity to win. And there you kind of see his breakdown. First 6 innings pitched, a 10.5 ERA. His last 12, a 1.5. coming off a tremendous start in Chicago, where, like you said, where he had the tough luck 1-0 loss. So it should be fun to watch him get back out there tonight.
And Johnny Cueto's been lights out for the Cincinnati Reds. He's off to a tremendous start. And his last 3 starts, he has a 0.39 ERA. And coming off 2 starts ago, a complete game effort against the Pirates. He beat them by a score of 6-1. And then his last game, 7 innings of 5-hit shutout ball against Milwaukee, a good hitting ball club. He's not trying to overpower everybody anymore. He's still trying to pitch and pitch more, but strikeouts aren't as important as quick outs, ground ball outs, and that's working real well for him right now.
So figures game 2 should be a low-scoring affair like we saw last night, with the Reds winning by a final score of 3-1 here in Atlanta. See if the Braves can get back in the win column. The Nationals lost today, so a chance for the Braves to get back into first with a victory in game 2 of the series next. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, and by Toyota. We're just about ready to go for game 2 of the series. Hot dog, the Braves and Reds hooking up for the second time this season. Tim Hudson's on the mound for Atlanta, facing a Reds club that's close to within a 2-game margin with the first place St. Louis Cardinals. One of their hitting heroes last night was their left fielder Chris Heisey. This man swings the bat very well against the Braves. He was a perfect 3 for 3 in the opener against Randall Delgado and the Braves bullpen. Let's see if they can keep him in check in game 2 tonight.
For the Braves, right-hander Tim Hudson takes to the mound, making his 4th start in the year. He's 1-1 with a 4.5 ERA. You see there his numbers against the Reds in 6 starts, 3-1 with a 3.19 ERA. Coming off a great start in Chicago, as we talked about. 7 strong innings of 5-hit baseball, gave up a run, but that was enough for the Cubs to beat them.
And for Tim, his 4 keys to pitching success tonight, going back to that career mark against the Reds. Remember me? He hasn't pitched against them since September of 09. That was 36 wins ago for Tim Hudson. And GBs and DPs, well, you know, he's got to be successful. He's going to rely on the ground balls tonight. His good sinker, if he gets some guys on. Hope the guys can turn a couple of double plays behind him, which he's very good at.
And with that in mind, Joe, here's the Atlanta defense. Standard trio in the outfield. Jack Wilson gets the start at shortstop. Eric Hinsky is in for Freddie Freeman. Hope you enjoyed Tom Hart's report on Freddie Freeman's eye condition. And Brian McCann works again behind the plate. It's a lovely night. A few clouds overhead. Gentle breeze blowing toward the Braves bullpen. as Hudson goes to work with the game's first pitch. "76 degrees officially as shortstop Zach Cozart goes to work.
David Ross caught Tim in Chicago City. Thought he had no-hit stuff that night. He was that sharp and back to being his old self after surgery in the winter.
I got a chance to watch that game at home. It looked like for the first time really that Huddy really had that sinker movement and was able to hit his locations with it, and certainly had that good slider to complement it, so he was on his game.
What about us? What did you think of the broadcast?
The broadcast was good. I mean, you know, as far as I was concerned, you guys did make a mistake. I had the TV on, but I was listening to the radio. So.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You guys were brilliant. Good TV, as they say, right?
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. Behind second, Michael Bourne comes galloping in from center. He's there. Cozart's retired for first out.
Chip, that could have gone really bad when I look back on that question.
Yes.
Could have really.
And you've got a daughter who's a lawyer. You never ask a question you don't already know the answer to, right?
It was a leading question.
But all's well that ends well. And here's Drew Stubbs. Stubbs, the Reds center fielder. He was 1 for 4 with a run last night. Cincinnati led 1-0 until the 5th. Braves tied the game at 1, and the Reds broke through against Johnny Venters in the 8th.
Freddie with the specs on tonight.
Fly ball to right. Jason broke back. Now comes charging in. Stubbs retired. 2 outs for Votto. Braves walked Votto twice last night. Not surprising. He leads the National League in free passes with 33 of them. But still 6th in RBIs with 24. 5 homers. 3 of those came on Sunday.
I know he's a good hitter, but after watching him play last night, I was extremely impressed with his defensive play. He had a couple of really nice plays last night.
And really the shame of Freddie Freeman not being able to go tonight. This series showcasing the 2 guys who I think would be the leading candidates for the starting job in the All-Star game for the National League at first base. That's foul past third. 2 balls and a strike.
Disappointing for you, not for Dusty Baker. He doesn't mind at all missing Freddie Freeman tonight.
Little dribbler hit towards second. And Tim Hudson gets his first ground ball out and works a perfect top half of the first inning. Unbeaten Johnny Cueto to the mound for the Braves half of the opening inning. got to take the cap off first. And let's see if the Braves can uncap some offense tonight. 1 run last night, and a tough hombre facing him tonight, Johnny Cueto. Again, no Freddie Freeman tonight, no Tyler Pastornicki. It's Eric Hinske and Jack Wilson in for the Braves.
For the Reds, Johnny Cueto making his 8th start on the year. That's a pretty good indication of how things have been going for him. No runs allowed in his last 12 innings, 1 run in his last 24. So to say that he's pitching good is probably an understatement.
His 4 keys to success: a new turn. We'll describe that in just a second. And keep it on the down low. He's been really keeping the ball down, getting a lot of ground ball outs himself. But this turn in his delivery, Tom, he just kind of discovered by playing around in the bullpen one day.
A little Louis Tiant-esque.
He and his pitching coach were talking about how his old delivery out of the windup, he used the description of a gate. His leg would come up straight and then just kind of square off to the plate and put his foot down. And the Reds were trying to get him to drive a little lower, and he did this, and it worked.
Well, it's a little bit extreme. You certainly could accomplish the same thing with a little bit less of a turn, but who's going to argue? It's clearly working for him.
Yeah. He does not do this in the stretch, just in the windup.
You can see there he gets into the rubber, makes the big turn. I think he was doing it in preparation for this series, knowing I was going to be here, and he wanted me to see his number all the time.
Maybe that was it.
A 90-mile-an-hour fastball retires Michael Bourne. There's the first out in the Braves' first inning.
Well, that was the description, Chip, that he doesn't try to throw 94, 95 all the time anymore. He's 90, 91, comfortable there. If he needs to put a little extra zip on it, he has it in reserve.
Yeah, he looks right now that, from what I've seen of him, and certainly right there against Michael, that description you hear of guys a lot where they're just kind of out there playing catch, nice and relaxed and just doing his thing.
High ranks in a lot of different key pitching departments.
And I would imagine with that delivery, if it accomplishes what he wanted to accomplish mechanically, it also accomplishes the ability to hide the ball from the hitter. They're not seeing the ball until real late.
Two balls, no strikes to Martin Prado with a 6-game hitting streak.
His splits against left-handers and right-handers pretty drastic in the difference. Lefties 293, right-handers are 12 for 84 on the year. A guy like this is a hitter when he's this deceptive. You've really got to make yourself stay back. You've got to wait with all this motion that you're seeing. You can't get caught up in that. You've still got to wait till you see that arm come out of his hand come out of the glove, and make sure you wait to see the ball out of his hand before you react.
That's foul past third. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cueto's really a fascinating story. He's out of the Dominican Republic, and his baseball journey began when Johnny Alvarez, who at the time was with the Cincinnati organization, Johnny worked for the Reds for 16 years, was on his way to the airport to fly home in the Dominican Republic, and someone who had seen Cueto pitch said, hey, you need to come look at this guy. I think he's got a chance to maybe be something. And a comebacker is knocked down. Had to throw to first in time for the second out. Well, Johnny, who now works with the Braves as the International Scouting and Operations Director for Atlanta. So my flight's at 11 o'clock. The only way I can see Cueto pitch is at 7 o'clock in the morning. So they arrange a hasty workout. At 16, 17 years old, the kid's popping the fastball at 91, 92 miles an hour. They signed him for $35,000. That was his bonus. And here he is in the major leagues. Here's Chipper.
That doesn't sound like a lot of money in today's sports market. But if you're a kid from the Dominican who doesn't have an agent and you're over there trying to, at 7 o'clock in the morning, trying to impress somebody, that's a lot of money.
Popped behind the plate. Hannigan gives chase. Won't have a play.
That's a good morning, I'll say.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good start to your day right there.
But you just don't know. I mean, think about the kids in the Dominican. Here you have the major league draft. The #1 pick might sign for $2-3 million and never make it to the big leagues. It's why scouting is the most confounding thing about our game. It's very difficult to project what a player will or won't be. And Cueto perhaps on his way to an all-star game. Grounded toward Brandon Phillips. And he'll take care of Chipper Jones. And both Hudson and Cueto pitching as we expected they would. 3 up, 3 down. No score after an inning. By Ford, by the Home Depot, by Jamison Inn, and by Checkers. Second inning, no score. Cueto versus Hudson in the series wrap up. The Braves start play tonight at 22-14. They are at the moment tied with the Nationals, who lost today. The Braves offense much improved, and much of that work has come from this Atlanta outfield.
Subject of our SunTrust solid performance. Last 3 years or so, the Braves have ranked in the bottom 6 in these categories in the major leagues. So the good work of Prado and Bourne and Hayward have bumped them up to the top or near the top.
Brandon Phillips, the batter, leading off the Cincinnati second, and he swings at the first pitch. And that's 3 fly ball outs for Tim Hudson, among the 4 outs he's gotten in the game so far. 1 away. Well, let's hope a little home cooking is just what the doctor ordered for Tim Hudson. 1999, Tim is 97 and 42. He's pitching in his home park. A strike to Bruce, the Cincinnati right fielder. He was 2 for 4 with a run scored.
On top of that, Chip, his last 12, he's 9-1 here at Turner Field with a sub-2 ERA. I don't know what was wrong with that.
Three balls and a strike. Bruce third in the league in homers, fourth in the league in RBIs, and hitting .302. And he'll take a walk with one out. First base runner for the Reds.
It's only his second walk in his last 13 innings since that bad first inning in Colorado.
That'll bring up Chris Heisey. Braves want you to take advantage of dynamic pricing for all outfield tickets new for this season. Buy outfield tickets for the Marlins tomorrow and Thursday night. Those tickets are just $14 to $17, the lowest price this season. Get those tickets at braves.com/dynamic deals. Whoa, up and in. And here's a guy, fellas, the Braves need to make a little uncomfortable. Worn out Braves pitching.
Yeah, Tim missed badly there. Target down and away.
Yeah, that was just either one that truly got away, or they did a really good job of disguising the fact that they wanted to make him a little uncomfortable. It's a little similar early on here to that his first start that he had against Pittsburgh, where he's not quite on top of his location with his fastball. He's got good movement, but he's been struggling a little bit trying to hit his spots with it.
One of Joe's keys was ground balls and double plays. Tim has one ground ball so far in the game. And you see the work Heisey has done in his last 10 against the Braves. 8 for his last 18.
They also have the veteran Ryan Ludwig on their club, who's played a lot of left field for them, but hasn't done much, hitting only .184. Does have 3 homers. But if Heisey stays hot, he's going to get a lot of playing time.
Runner at first goes, and a swinging butt toward third. Chipper gloves, throws on the run, not in time. Throw over to third, is in time.
Freddie Gonzalez going to come out and ask about the call at first. Eric Hinsky really couldn't quite tell because he saw the run around second and head to third. So he was going to take the throw, but he didn't have time to do any arguing and made a good throw to third base. Hard to tell at that angle, but a good throw and a good hustling play by Jack Wilson to get over there and cover.
So Bruce is out at third. Heisey's at first. Now there are 2 outs. Bruce retired 5-3-6. Now Frazier pops one up down the left field line. Long run for Wilson. He is just a little shy. Strike one. Ninth start for Frazier this year. Reds are without Scott Rowland, who went to the disabled list with problems in his left shoulder. Joe, you mentioned last night they've tried just about everybody at third base in Roland's absence.
Well, even before he went on the disabled list, Chip, he was missing a game or two here and there trying to get his shoulder right, so they were having to plug some guys in. And as you pointed out last night, they did call up Costanzo from AAA, who had been putting up some good numbers.
Frazier last night struck out twice. Former #1 pick out of Rutgers. And Hudson takes care of him for the first time tonight. Chris Heisey picks up another hit against Atlanta pitching, but he's left stranded in the second inning. Then Brian McCann and Jason Hayward. If you're just joining us tonight, no Freddie Freeman in the lineup. Contact lens irritation in his eyes last night. He's got small scratches on his cornea. Tom Hart had an interview with Freddie about that before the ball game. Might be a day or two before he's ready to go, right, fellas?
It sounded like it. I think he seemed encouraged by the stuff that they were doing and the thoughts of him getting back out there quickly. So hopefully it's going to be a day or two thing.
About 2 or 3 weeks ago, my son Gabe had a similar situation with his contacts, and he had to go without them and just wear his glasses for about 3 days while it healed itself. And the eye drops and the creams and everything all do good work.
That misses inside, ball 2. For more on the Freddie Freeman vision issues, let's check in with Tom.
All right, thanks, guys. It's not that big of an issue to manager Freddie Gonzalez. He said the Braves are in such a stretch right now where they play every day, starting that St. Louis series. He said he's going to get a day off anyway, so he gets today off, hoping he gets back tomorrow. But others in this stretch will get some time. He said Michael Bourne will get a day off in this stretch. Chipper Jones may have day off tomorrow. The one guy that's not looking for a day off right now is the guy at the plate right now. And Freddie was looking for volunteers to tell Dan Uggla when he would have his day off.
Can't say that I blame Freddie for that. Mile high pop left side. Cozart, the shortstop, makes the call and puts the squeeze on out number 1. Trivia time. Our AT&T U-verse trivia question this evening. What pitcher holds the Reds franchise record for most strikeouts in a season?
I've got an idea. Stocky left-hander.
As Brian McCann bats. Remember, Brian too's had vision issues in the past. Seems to be over those.
Now I'm second guessing myself on whether he's left or right-handed. I'm trying to remember. Might have been right-handed. Don Gullett.
Remember Don Gullett? I was thinking a right-hander.
Right-hander.
No, he's left-handed, but I'm thinking about a right-hander.
Oh. He's one of those guys. Gullett would have probably been one of those guys with the modern technology, with the Tommy John type surgery. Might have prolonged his career because he was something else coming out of high school.
That's off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. And a high drive deep toward right field. Brian McCann has gone deep.
Showed you that graphic earlier. The lefties are hitting Cueto at a pretty good clip. 293. He's only given up 2 home runs. Now 3, and they've all been the left-handed hitters. Left that one up.
Left that one up over the plate, and Mac got a good look at it and put a great swing on it. Drove it into the bleachers in right field.
That's got to make Brian feel great, because he, like everybody else in the ballpark, thought he might have touched one off against Aroldis Chapman last night.
I know I did.
So Brian continues to pummel Cincinnati pitching. Braves lead 1-0 in the second.
This is a good pitching matchup, needless to say, between these two guys. Tom, as a guy who's been in a lot of these matchups yourself, how important would be an early run for you to work against a guy that was always tough for you?
Oh, it's always, you always want to get the other team on the defensive. You know, you get into a situation where you're expecting a little bit of a pitcher's duel. You know, with each inning that goes by that you're throwing zeros up there and the other guy's matching you, well, you're feeling good about what you're doing, but he continues to feel good about what he's doing. So the more you can kind of get a run here or a run there early on, then, you know, you put a little bit of that doubt in his mind as to what it is he's trying to accomplish and what his game plan is.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Cueto either upset with himself on the location or the fact that he didn't get that call. Slapping his leg with his bare hand and his glove.
That's down the first base line. Nice pickup, Votto. Cueto to the bag for out number 2. Base is empty for Eric Hinske, the man filling the first base defensive assignment for Freddie Freeman, and the subject of our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
It's awfully nice when you can have a guy step in and really fill in like Eric has done. Most of his work has been in left field, but that's of no consequence at the plate.
No balls and a strike. Going back to our subject that Tom Hart brought up about the schedule and giving guys days off. Remember, after this homestand, the Braves' next opponent is an American League team. He'll head down to Tampa Bay to play the Rays. Consequently, playing in American League ballpark, the DH will be in effect.
Thereby essentially giving a guy a day off and still allowing him to hit. That might be the day you want to go to UGLA and stand off a little ways and yell across the room.
You got good news and bad news. You get to hit, but you're not going to get to go out and field. There's our compromise.
You're in there, but don't take your glove to the dugout.
That's one of the good things about interleague play. As much as players sometimes don't like it, from a managerial standpoint, you get to do some of those things. I imagine you'd see David Ross get an opportunity to catch back there, and he can still keep Brian in the game to hit. You might see Jack Wilson playing and giving Pastor Nicky a day off. So it gives you the ability to get some guys in there, not both offensively and defensively, but still picked out one guy every day where you're letting hit.
And the other factor too, artificial surface in Tampa. So with Chipper Jones and his knee, for example, see how much he's able to play. As Hinsky's down swinging. The Braves, though, have struck first. Brian McCann has 3 lifetime hits against Johnny Cueto, and all 3 of them are homers. A solo shot in the sunshine in the second. Braves enjoy an early lead.
Lead. It's something he never had in his last start at Wrigley Field. And David Ross said the one thing he had from the get-go, that sinker is working from the first inning on against the Cubs.
Sinker was really sinking. He's throwing first pitch strikes, fastballs, making the hitter be aggressive. He was being aggressive in the zone, threw a lot of strikes. We expect that out of Huddy. He's a good pitcher. He's got really good stuff.
Guys, he turned 2 double plays behind Tim Hudson. He faced the minimum through 6 innings against the Cubs, but didn't find the win. But perhaps today, a sign that he's still trying to find his routine. Only 3 of 7 first pitch strikes and only 1 ground ball out. Chip.
All right, Tom, thank you.
Sinker's a tough thing, though, day to day, or start to start, isn't it, Tom? I mean, with respect to the feel for the baseball, release point.
Well, all those things, the feel, the release point, the movement. A lot of times the movement's different. It might sink more one day, it might run more another, and trying to figure that out and get all that in the zone. There's a lot of components to it.
And Derek Lowe talked about that all year long, about how he just didn't have the feel, still wrestling with different aspects of throwing a good sinker, and apparently he's found it again.
Complete game shutout today for Derek Lowe, who's now 6-1 for the Indians. And Cleveland leads the AL Central. That's one of the big surprises in baseball. Baltimore leading the AL East. And we will see the Orioles in interleague play. That'll be in mid-June. Hannigan to Chipper at third, and the long throw is in plenty of time. Ground ball out for the first in inning number 3. Save up to 40% off your next visit to Turner Field with the Chevron Family Value Plan. Those packages start at $69. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, a parking pass, game program, and a $10 Chevron gift card. Visit Braves.com/tickets for the Chevron Family Value Plan.
I'd have to go back and find an old Cincinnati media guide to see if I'm right, but Cueto just seems a little rounder than I remember him.
Little roller to the mound. And Hudson takes care of his pitching opponent, Cueto, for the second out.
He's listed 5'10", 215. I don't remember him being that heavy. But whatever he's doing it right. The way he's been pitching.
Gold Star chili, probably.
Yeah.
And here's Cozart, who popped out to center. Reds really like this kid. They think he has a chance to be something special. Former Ole Miss standout, second-round pick in 2007. Reds had an interesting note on him in their press notes today about Cozart. Became the first rookie to hit safely in each of the Reds' first 6 games of a season since 1947.
If he's as good as that number 2 pick sitting there right behind him, then he's going to have a pretty good career.
Both the Reds and Braves doing a terrific job of building through the farm system. Wayne Krivsky was the general manager when Cozart was drafted, when Frazier was drafted, and when Mesoraco, last night's starting catcher, was drafted. Wayne no longer the Reds GM. Walt Jocketty is, and Dusty Baker reaping the rewards of those picks.
Freddie may have to find a different seat.
Get him to pull the shade down over there.
That's low to Cozart. Hudson issues a 2-out walk, his second walk of the game. Good pitch to Stubbs. Big question about Stubbs. Will he make enough contact to stick in the big leagues? This year, 38 strikeouts, 7 walks. That's at 133 at bats. That was roughly the ratio last year. About 1 every 3 at bats he struck out.
Yeah, led the league in strikeouts, over 200. Got 2 good hitting coaches though. Brooke Jacoby, who's a former Brave, and Dusty Baker, a former Brave. Dusty's still got a lot of friends here in Atlanta from his days playing for the Braves. And I said, guys, this 2-day trip into Atlanta doesn't give you much time, does it? And he says, there's no way I can see everybody in 2 days. He says, it's not fair. He always loves coming back.
There's the strikeout of Stubbs. Cozart left stranded at first. Second, Hudson strikeout. and he leads 1-0. And a quick stop for the Miami Marlins. That's the subject of our Jamison Inn upcoming game schedule.
First look at the Marlins and their new unis and their new manager, and Mark Burley, a new pitcher.
A lot of new things going on. They're starting to play well.
Marlins are home tonight playing the Pirates. As Jack Wilson hits a soft single into left field. Tom, you're right about Miami. They've won 7 of their last 10 games. They enter play today 4 games behind Washington, 3.5 now behind Atlanta and the Nationals, with Washington losing today. Now let's see if Hudson can move Wilson over.
Good move. Quick one.
The bunt to Cueto at the mound. He'll throw a fastball to second, and that takes care of Wilson.
Boy, they have executed some excellent bunt defense, haven't they, in these 2 games? With the play that Votto made last night, and now Cueto bouncing on this one.
Yeah, he got on that ball in a hurry. As a pitcher, you always want to have, at least give yourself the chance to come off the mound aggressively and field that ball. And Cueto got off the mound in a hurry on that and set himself and made a nice throw to second base.
And it wasn't a great bunt, but I wonder if some of it might have been in Tim's head. I can't bunt it hard to first because Votto will turn it into a force out.
It's almost that one like you see at third base sometimes where you pull the bat back and swing it.
Born in the batter's box, Martin Prado, our Delta Airlines on deck batter. He's riding a 6-game hit streak. Liner to left. 53rd hit of the year for Michael Bourne. That's tops in the National League. The Braves have 2 on with 1 out.
Breaking ball stayed out away from him. And again, from a left-handed batter, especially with that trying to be deceptive, and then his turn, and when the arm comes out, if it casts out at all, you're going to get a good look at the ball coming out of his hand.
It's always difficult when you're trying to throw a breaking ball to the offhanded hitter, and you know, righty on lefty, you're in your heart you want to throw that pitch, but you know you don't want it to finish down and in. And then the outside corner, that backdoor pitch is awfully difficult to get it right speed, right location, and that one he didn't.
Cueto's been awfully tough. He's allowed 2 or fewer runs in 6 of 7 starts. He's already down 1 tonight. Braves threatening in inning number 3. To first and beyond. Hudson around third will score. Bourne will stop at third, and Martin Prado hits the ball the other way beautifully. 2-0 Atlanta.
Quote an old football coach I heard one time, "I'm bumfuzzled." Why in the world would you be playing that far off the line for Martin Prado against this guy? But thank you very much.
I was going to say, I don't know why, but I'm glad they did.
So both Michael Bourne and Martin Prado extend their hitting streaks. And now Chipper Jones a chance to do some serious third inning damage. A run in on 3 hits, still 1 out.
How about this? 4 road starts this year. He's 2-0 with an 0.92 ERA coming into this start, and had not allowed more than 1 earned run in any of those starts. Braves have 2 so far tonight. We're only in the 3rd.
Make it 3. Chipper with a single to right. Heading for third is Prado. He'll slide in head first.
Fastball to try to go in on him and tail back over the plate a little bit, and as we've seen Chipper do so many times in his career, turn on it, line drive, base hit, and as usual, great base running by Martin Prado.
Nice swing by Chipper. You're right, Tom. Getting his hands inside that fastball.
Four hits in the inning, all of them singles. Now Dan Uggla bats. Braves 3, Reds nothing.
Watch him pull his hands in here a little bit, and then the hips take over.
Hammer toward right center, but Bruce had him played well. That's deep enough to score Martin with a sacrifice fly. Boy, have the Braves been good at getting that man in from third base with less than 2 outs. Another big end-on run makes it 4-zip.
Something else they've been good at, Chip, is second time through the order, and pitchers, even good pitchers, kind of like Lance Lynn the other day. They didn't exactly beat him up, but I mean, he was undefeated in pitching lights out, and they did a real good job against him. Second time through the order, they got the 3 runs in the 3rd inning thanks to that big double by Hayward.
And really, this past week, the Braves have played the role of giant killers. Remember, they beat Adam Wainwright, who was 6-0 against Atlanta. You mentioned Lynn, who was 6-0. who scored 4 runs tonight against unbeaten Johnny Cueto.
Well, the big hit of the inning to me was Prado going the other way, and they were playing him so far off the line. That was really surprising.
Cueto had given up 6 earned runs in 48 innings all year before tonight.
Pretty good numbers from Mac. And I said that very tongue-in-cheek. 40 games, 31 RBIs, 15 homers. That's pretty good.
Chipper will have a chance to take an early start. Full count, 2 outs. 3 runs in the Braves' third. Base on balls brings up Jason Hayward.
Here you go, Chip. Laser Baker looked it up. First time through the lineup against a pitcher, the Braves are hitting .250. That's not bad. First time look at a guy. Second time through the order, .293.
Tim Hudson scored the 2nd run of the night. He waits to see how large the lead will be when he heads out for the 4th. That's something else the Braves have done a good job of too. They have really forced pitch counts up early in games. Cueto approaching 60 with Hayward up.
Cueto had a real good year last year, but he was hurt at the beginning and he was hurt at the end. And in between those DL stints, he was 9-5 for the Reds with a .231 ERA.
He had biceps and triceps irritation, and he had a strained right lat. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That was a pitch he got Hinske on last inning. A real good changeup that he swung over the top of. Jason did a good job just to get a piece of it.
Reds fans are blue so far tonight, trailing 4-0. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stop by Hannigan.
Hannigan kind of served an apprenticeship, if you will, behind Ramon Hernandez for a couple of years. Ramon now with the Rockies, and Hannigan's got the job. Wow, that was a different setup. Did you see Hannigan there?
Up and outside the box.
Yeah, he was. He was almost turned sideways. He's almost facing the left-handed batter's box. And definitely out of the catcher's box.
Three and two now. Chipper at second. McCann at first. They go, and the pitch is served foul to the left side.
It's kind of like that 10-pitch at bat that Jason had against Lance Lynn the other day. Just fighting off pitchers' pitches one after another. He has seen 7 in this at bat.
Just keep trying to stay alive. See if we can get that guy out there to make a mistake and then jump on it.
He's going to hear about it from Chipper and McCann, though.
Well, maybe he'll let them all trot around nice and easy on a homer.
Lined into right center field, 1 at bat. Chipper scores. McCann to third. Hayward to second.
Great at bat, wasn't it? See what he hit. Fastball. Like a two-seamer that just kind of ran back over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, ran back, caught too much of the plate, and like you said, keep trying to stay alive till the pitcher makes a mistake, and when he does, jump on it, and Jason jumped on that one.
So the Reds will walk Eric Hinsky and load the bases for Jack Wilson, who started this third inning with a single to left. 67 pitches now by Cueto. 17 to the last 3 hitters.
Alfredo Simone is warming up in their bullpen.
Jack Wilson's 4 for 10 now lifetime against Cueto, and he'll hit with the bases loaded. A little flare into right. It's going to be caught by Jay Bruce. And the side is retired, but a great inning for Atlanta. They played 4 runs and give Tim Hudson a 5-0 lead. Fourth inning all season long. Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff and the low price. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Tom Hart, Chip Carey. Johnny Cueto's been touched for 5 runs. He'd given up only 6 earned runs all year before coming into tonight's game. And now Tim Hudson with that big lead. That gives you an awful lot of encouragement.
125 and 2 is pretty good.
And now from a pitcher's perspective, Tom, what's Tim Hudson do here?
Well, you're one school of thought is you just want to go out there and throw strikes, not walk anybody, but you certainly don't want to lay it over the plate to these guys.
Ground ball toward Wilson. Jack at the second base bag. 1 out. Here's Phillips. Out of Redan High School, had a big double in the 8th inning last night. A rocket off the center field fence. Brandon swinging a hot bat. 7 for his last 16 coming in. And grounds 1 up the middle with 1 out.
Got to be aware of first pitch fastball swinger. And he picked on another one here. A lot of family and friends here last night enjoying the game.
Here's Jay Bruce. Bruce walked in the second and tried to go from first to third on a little infield hit from Heisey. Bang bang play at first on Heisey's play. Bruce was thrown out by Eric Hinsky at third base with Jack Wilson covering. And a called strike.
Showed you a graphic last night about the difficulties Jay Bruce has had against the Braves here at Turner Field. He kind of put that to rest last night with 2 hits, including a double. And I think it was Bruce who hit the ball to left field that Martin Prado got turned around on the warning track too, but made the catch.
Foul at the plate.
Speaking of Martin, I was asking him about being hit by that pitch in St. Louis the other day. If it hit him on the back of the hand or where, and he pointed to a place right on the heel of his hand at the bottom, but not on that tender soft spot on the back. And I was talking to him about, kidding him about discussions about, well, why didn't he get his hand out of the way?
Phillips runs. The pitch popped up by Bruce to the left side. Shift was on. Chipper will give way to Martin Prado. 2 out.
He said, I was just trying to get my head out of the way. I didn't care about the rest of me.
And here's Heisey. Boy, an early lead against the Reds, always a good thing, especially against a guy like Cueto, but it also minimizes your exposure to that bullpen, which we saw pitch so well last night. And a liner into left will bounce for Heise, a 2-out single.
Boy, figure out something different on him. 5 for 5 in the series.
Yeah, ever since you mentioned something last night, he's been on a tear.
Well, he's never had 6 hits in a game or in a row before. I guess that wouldn't work, would it?
No.
I'll come up with something.
Okay.
Put the reverse whammy on him.
Here's Frazier. And that's low, ball 1. Well, foul to the right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mentioned last night that Frazier played for the Toms River team that won the 1998 Little League World Series championship. They beat Japan that day. Frazier went 4 for 4 with a home run in the title game.
Red letter day right there. What a great thrill that must have been.
I've got a few teams from Toms River win that thing, haven't they?
Must be something with the name. Pitch inside, 2 balls and a strike.
Isn't that where Al Leiter's from?
Yes, yes.
Outside. Reds really benefited from the old rules when teams would sign a free agent off the roster. When Rich Aurelia went away, he was a type A free agent. The Reds got an extra draft pick. And Frazier was the man they selected in 2007 with the 34th overall selection that year. And he hits a comebacker right to Tim Hudson. And Tim preserves his 5-run lead into the bottom of the 4th inning. He'll go to work at the plate as well here at Turner Field. Here's how it's happened. Our Hardy's game summary.
A lot of A's on caps there, as you see. Tim Hudson doing a good job of shutting them down on 3 hits, and the Braves were really first to thirding them to death in the 3rd inning. Brian McCann got him on the board first with a homer in the 2nd.
So Cueto back to work with Hudson, Bourne, and Prado coming up.
Talking about that good bullpen, Chip, but their starters have been doing a real good job too. Their last 21 games, starters ERA overall was 187.
And that was the real question mark for the Reds. Their pitching, their starting pitching really let them down last season. But Cueto's been terrific. Matt Latos came over from San Diego. This pitch popped up to Frazier and foul ground. Got to get Bronson Arroyo straightened out. He gave up a whopping 46 home runs last season for Cincinnati. And we saw Homer Bailey pitch a great game in game 1 of the series. So you're right, they are indeed a much improved pitching staff in Cincinnati. Michael Bourne, a 5-game hitting streak, scored his 26th run in the Braves' 3rd. Liner into center. 17 games with 2 or more hits for Michael Bourne this year. This is game number 37 of the season.
Good work by the left-handed hitters again against Cueto, but one right-hander who made a difference last inning was Martin Prado, who did what he does so well. He went to right field, but look at the defensive alignment. Now they've got a double play in order, so the middle infielders are in the right spot. It's really Votto was really the only guy that was playing well off the line.
Yeah, he would have had a tough time getting back to the bag if there was a ground ball in the middle of the field.
Could that have been a location mistake from Cueto, pitching Prado away rather than inside with Votto off the line?
Possible. I mean, the end result is possible, but you still, Votto's an awful long way off the line.
And now Cueto throws it into right field. Ball bounces off the tarp. I believe they're going to call obstruction on Votto. And in any event, it's an E1 on Cueto, allowing Bourne to reach second base. They got all tangled up.
Yeah, if they had thrown him out at second base, he still would have been awarded second right here on this. Nice moving screen by Votto, but a good pickup by Rob Drake.
Two. After the ball game tonight, the Reds make their way to New York. They will play 5 games in the Big Apple. 5 games? You'd say that sounds strange. Well, 2 of them are against the Mets, and then a 3-game series against the Yankees.
I guess they're fortunate that they only have to play 2 against the Mets. Otherwise, they might be there a week.
Two strikes. And a line drive left field. Martin. Bourne will be held. No, he'll get the green light. The ball missed by Heisey. And sliding into second is Prado. And he will be out.
Trade that out for a run. Just continue to be impressed, though, by the professional at-bat you get from Martin Prado all over the ballpark. Right field for one big hit, and now pulling this one. Heisey, when he was trying to field the ball, just basically killed it on the grass. And a nice job by Phillips to keep Martin from getting to the bag.
That'll be a single. No RBI. Bourne scores on the error. He was stopped at third, but then Heisey recovered and threw out Prado 7-4 at second base for the second out of the inning. 6-0 Braves the lead. And back to the mound. Will retire the side. Braves add on another run. Like that an awful lot. 6-0. Have staked Tim Hudson to a 6-0 lead.
Killing us.
That's beautiful. That is just good stuff.
Just wish Mr. Rathbun would send some of that stake up here. As we head to the 5th inning. Ryan Hannigan, the catcher, will start it off. He grounded out to Chipper his first and only time up there. I was talking earlier tonight, guys, about the inexact nature of scouting. With regards to Johnny Cueto, he got $35,000 to sign and pitching great ball. Hannigan was an undrafted free agent. And he hits this one into shallow left center field. And it's Martin Prado with the running catch for out number 1.
So he and Brandon Beachy could talk it over.
Georgia Power customers can get a free in-home energy audit performed by an energy expert from Georgia Power. Learn ways to save money and energy around your home. To schedule an in-home energy audit, go to georgiapower.com. And the night is over for Johnny Cueto. Miguel Cairo will pinch hit. Cueto 6 runs tonight. He had allowed 6 earned runs all year coming in. And he's done after 4.
5 of those will be earned. The last thing, those 2 errors produced an unearned run. And this Reds team, a real good defensive ball club. They'd only made 18 errors all year coming into the game.
That was tied with the Dodgers for the fewest number of errors in the league. Cairo, a broken bat single over short. That guy's had a pretty good big league career, 14 seasons.
Yeah, he can do a lot of things. Very versatile, play pretty much every position on the field, including catcher, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, certainly not to the standards of Martin Prado, but that kind of hitter, when he gets in the batter's box, he's going to battle you. He's going to make you work to get him out.
And he's played on some good teams too.
Been with the Yankees, the Cardinals, Tampa Bay, the Phillies, and now his 3rd year in Cincinnati. Here's Cozart. Zach is 0 for 1 with a walk. It's slowly fouled at 3rd. Quickly 2 strikes. Braves can take first place back tonight with a win. The Nationals were beaten by San Diego today 6-1. Steven Strasburg did not pitch well today.
There's a lot of discussion going on up there now about the limits that they may or may not place on Strasburg for the year. How many innings they're going to let him pitch.
Boy, how hard will that be for Washington if they're in the pennant race in September and he's in his 160 to 170 zone and they shut him down with a playoff spot on the line.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I don't want to be the guy making that call, I can tell you that.
The other problem for Washington is they just can't stay healthy. They brought up a kid catcher named Sandy Leon after Wilson Ramos tore up his knee. Leon got hurt last night on a play at the plate, a high ankle sprain, and they had to carry him off. He's on the disabled list. Cozart swings and misses and is the 2nd out.
One of the pitchers that we don't have the official matchups for the series down in Tampa, but I think one of the guys that was scheduled to go against the Braves was Neiman.
Jeff Neiman.
Jeff Neiman, and he suffered a broken leg on a comebacker either yesterday or the day before. He's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, there have been some freaky injuries this year around Major League Baseball. And no team may be suffering more than the Nationals. Wilson handles that hot shot and flips to second for a nifty end to the top of the 5th inning. Tim Hudson cruising along. He's allowed 4 hits, no runs, and leads 6-0. in the bottom of inning number 5. Twitter time at the ballpark. And Jacob Pitts wants to know, Tom Glavine, who is your favorite Red to pitch against, and who did you not want to face?
My favorite Red had to be left fielder they had for a year or so. Some guy named Ron Gant. Oh, I owned that guy. Oh, did I own that guy?
Right, Ron Gant guy or something?
Yeah. Oh,
RG1 we call him.
I would send a limo to the hotel to get him to the ballpark. I knew I had 3 outs there. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I mean, I can't really say there's. The only guy I could ever think of in my career that I just wanted to face was Brad Ausmus. He could not get a hit off of me for some reason. I don't know why, the poor guy. But, you know, with the Reds, they had a lot of great players over the years. We talked a little bit about it last night. Barry Larkin comes to mind only because you knew you were going to get a battle. It was fun, that whole cat and mouse game. I'm sitting here looking over some of these lineups I had over the years.
About Paul O'Neill.
Paul O'Neill, when he was swinging it good, was tough. You know, tough guy to face. Hal Morris, you know, because he was always moving in the box, and you weren't really sure what you wanted to throw him.
How about Dunn? Adam Dunn, Sean Casey?
Yeah, those guys too. I mean, you know, Adam at least was a little bit feast or famine. You know, you could get some strikeouts against him, but you knew you had to run the risk of the long ball too. And Sean Casey, same thing.
Line drive by Ugla into center field. That's his first hit of the game, 9th for the Braves tonight. Now, Laser Baker looked it up. Go ahead, tell the audience what Ausmus was against you. You can brag a little bit. This is pretty good.
I feel bad in case Brad's listening out there somewhere. 2 for 43. Now, conversely, you know, Redmond from the Marlins was probably 43 for 2 off of me.
Yeah. Alfredo Simon, by the way, is the new Cincinnati pitcher. 2 days before opening day, was claimed off waivers from the Orioles.
That looks like old Roberto Hernandez out there.
Mm-hmm.
And downstairs to Brian McCann, who started the scoring parade in the Braves' second inning. A long solo home run, his 6th of the year.
Toughest night of the year for sure for Cueto. Not only a short outing, but he also contributed last inning to an add-on run with that errant pickoff throw.
Simon's a big man. 6'6", 260. And now 2-2 count. Three balls, 2 strikes.
Johnny Cueto's ERA tonight went up from 1.12 to 1.89. If you have a bad night, you give up 5 earnings in 4 innings, and you're still under a 2 ERA. You've been doing something else pretty right.
Rounder foul past first. Well, his next assignment won't be easy either. He's got to face the Yankees at Yankee Stadium.
Well, that rise in his ERA makes Brandon Beachy the new ERA leader.
Beachy's at 1.60, and he'll pitch game 2 against the Marlins. Funny stat in the newspaper this morning talking about the Braves' loss last night. It was their 6th loss in a row on a Monday this year. But they've battled back to go 4-1 on Tuesdays. Grounder, that's past Phillips and into right field. Perfect night at the plate for Brian McCann. Back-to-back singles greet Alfredo Simon.
No shift on for Brian in this series, and he takes full advantage of that here, pulling one in the hole. Dan with some good ups there.
Yeah.
They're calling him Upla.
Another great at bat for Hayward in the Braves' 3rd. And it turned into a double to right center field that brought home run number 5.
Hannigan wanted that one. He looked back over his shoulder at Fletcher, wondering where that pitch was.
Rolled toward first. Funny hop. The throw to second will get Brian McCann. What a play by Votto. I didn't think he had a prayer of throwing out the runner at second.
I didn't think he was even going to think about throwing out the runner at second.
And got a tricky hop here. Terrific play.
That's, you know, that's a play you'll see occasionally a middle infielder make where their weight's going one way and they make a throw going the other, but you don't see first basemen make that throw too many times.
He's a Gold Glover. Don't get wrapped up in what that man does in the batter's box alone. You're making a big mistake if you do. He just made a terrific play. Keeps the double play in order as Hinsky comes up. Eric has struck out and walked tonight. Little tapper. Votto's coming home, and Ugla will be tagged out. 2 good plays by Votto, and that one saved a run.
You're taught as a base runner at third base here that you don't want to let them have a chance to turn a double play. So even at the expense of maybe getting thrown out at the plate, you come home. It's just that on a slow roller like that, you still think you might get in there. Votto's showing you how to play first base.
Upstairs to Jack Wilson. Both of his at-bats tonight came in the 3rd inning. Atlanta sent 10 men to the plate in that frame. 4 of them scored. 3-0.
This guy struck out a lot of people. 13 2/3 innings, 16 strikeouts coming into this outing. 4 walks, 3 hit batsmen. We're with 14 hits. So a lot of base runners, even though his ERA is only 2.63 coming in.
Three and two.
Off the toe. Did you ever hit a ball off your foot?
No, never. I was just thinking that. I don't think I ever hit one off my toe like that. Off the ankle and the shin once in a while.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
Runners go. Hot smash. Frazier handles it third. And the Reds defense saved a couple of runs in this 5th inning. The cornermen, Votto and Frazier, with some leathered larceny. And it's 6-0 after 5. In the second of these 2 games in the series. Back to our Twitter feed. Mark Miller wants to know, guys, does anyone bring food to you in the booth during the game? Just curious.
No.
Never. Nobody does anything for us up here.
Oh.
Oh.
Kevin Rathman's Steakhouse, guys. Wow. I had 3 of them. I ran into Ronnie Gann outside. He took yours. Think you can understand why.
I wonder why.
It's 5 ounces of New York strip. The bun is drenched in au jus and a side of horseradish. I told Chuck, who's the chef down there today, that when the Yankees come to town in a few weeks, they might have to start referring to it as a KC strip at that point.
Very nice.
Thanks, Tom.
Tom a maitre d' when he's not working on the ball games. You guys go ahead.
Actually, Chef Rathman brought up some for us to sample the opening night. Remember?
Oh, it was fantastic. By the way, Joey Votto looks slow. 2 balls and a strike.
And folks, this is what you get when you're a 300-game winner. Show it to you right after this pitch. You were brought a hot dog off the rolling thing in there in the kitchen with the bun broken.
Your presentation's way better than what I got.
Well, I tell you, that's been on the roller for a while, buddy.
Fly ball to left. That's called the 300 game winner. By the way, one man down.
The hot dog or Tommy?
Either one. Okay. Take your pick. Here's Phillips. He's 1 for 2. Well, this is great for Tim Hudson. We talked earlier about his 3 starts. The one in Colorado results in an ugly ERA, but you know Tommy pitching in that ballpark. Yeah, he gave up the 5 in the first, but very little after that, and has pitched great ball since.
Yeah, that pitching in Colorado is such a different mindset. You don't ever want to go in there and have that kind of game, but in the back of your mind, you know it's possible, and you also know that it's about the only place you can go out and give up 5 runs in the first inning and still feel like you got a pretty good chance to be in the game. And Huddy certainly recognized that and righted the ship and gave him a chance to win.
Phillips beats this one into the turf. Look at Chipper to his left.
Well, Mike Minor turned around and did it the next day. Gave up a grand slam in the first, and the offense came back and picked him up too. Look at this old dog moving around the infield, cutting that one off. Nice play.
A little jump in his step.
He's having a good time.
And why not? When Chipper starts, the Braves are 16-5 coming into play tonight. And Bruce jumps on the first pitch and hits that into the right field corner. It'll die at the base of the wall. And Jay Bruce does what the Cincinnati hitters do so well. He doubles. "72 base hits for the Reds. That's the 11th for Bruce.
He's having a good year. Hitting .308 his last 10 games with 3 homers and now a double.
And I meant 2 base hits for Cincinnati, of course. And here's Heisey. Base hits haven't been a problem for him in this series. He's perfect 5 for 5, including 2 for 2 tonight.
He gets a hit every at bat in Turner Field.
He does. I've never seen him make an out here.
No.
Especially in the 6th inning with 2 outs and a runner on second.
Right.
Ever.
He breaks up every shutout I've ever seen him have a chance to break up.
Never seen him make an out when I have a steak sandwich sitting within my reach.
Or a hot dog. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Heisey out of Donegal High School in Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. Went to Messiah College in Grantham, PA. Set a ton of school records there. And now faces a 2-1 count.
Folks enjoying the game over there in Georgia's own credit union club. Well, that's a great place to watch the game. And you get curb service.
Very nice.
Guess what, fellas? Heisey made an out.
See? Just saying.
The Nostradamus of the National League. Joe Simpson and Tom Glavine, 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th. strikeout for the Reds in relief of Johnny Cueto, who was hit hard tonight. 5 earned runs in 4 innings of work. Back to the AT&T U-verse trivia question. What pitcher holds the Reds' franchise record for most strikeouts in a season?
Well, I wrote it down right away. For me, I think Mario Soto I wrote down.
I'm going Gullett.
I'll go Joe Nuxhall.
Hey, there you go.
Well, you're good for something.
Yeah, well.
Everybody's got to be somewhere, huh?
You're right.
Tim Hudson has a healthy cut, strike 1.
How many of those do you think run changeups? Out of 274.
Probably a handful. I don't. Probably a bunch of sliders in there too, though.
Mm-hmm.
He had that good little cutter going for a lot of years.
Look through the book and see if Mario Soto is still with the Reds organization. Seem to remember coming across his name in their media guide the other day. Hudson down swinging. There's the first strikeout for Simon. Fans, there are a limited number of VIP packages being auctioned for the Scotty McCreery concert Saturday, May 26th. VIP packages include 4 suite tickets, 4 concert field passes, 4 meet and greet passes, and a whole lot more. Bid on these VIP packages at Braves.com/concerts today. Foul back by Michael Bourne, strike 1.
Guy's throwing hard, I know that. 95 on that fastball to Hudson after he almost made a mistake throwing him and kind of telegraphing a slider that gave Tim a chance to speed up his bat a little.
Upstairs 2-2. Yeah, Mario Soto still with the Reds. He's in their international scouting and player development staff. At least he's with that roster for the Reds. Tight. Michael Bourne, a 3-2 count.
And 2 hits already tonight. It's raised his average up to 338. Came in with an on-base percentage of 393, so he's closing in on 400.
Another hit for Bourne. This one to left. He's 3 for 4. 55 hits for the season, 12 for his last 26, and 17 multi-hit games for the season.
I'm going to have to ask him about those hitting gloves and running gloves and what the difference is. Take a pair off, put a pair on. Because he's not a guy that slides head first. He slides feet first on most occasions. Last night at home plate, close play, he went in head first and got in.
Well, I think Tom Hart might have the answer for you, Joe.
Joe, I talked to him a couple weeks ago about that. He's just trying to be efficient. He wants to keep the new gloves for when he bats, and the ones he puts on once he gets on the bases are a little bit older. Not that he, like you said, not that he goes head first very often. He just wants to keep his gamers clean.
Well, that's our Home Depot tools from the dugout, so that's very efficient, as Tom said. Thank you, Tom. Recycling.
Keeping them clean, looking good.
No balls, 1 strike. And that's bounced off the plate, off Martin's shoulder. 0-2.
Grabbed a little bit at that right side on this follow through. Oh, the ball got him too. Maybe that was it.
Right in the rib cage.
Liner into center, and that'll drop in front of Stubbs.
I didn't have time to get it out, but I was just wondering what Martin had in store for us in this at bat. He went to right, he's gone to left. Naturally, he goes to center for the 3rd hit.
He had a single on an 0-2 pitch in the 8th inning last night. He singles in the 6th on an 0-2 count. And Martin's got a 3-hit game. And now Chipper bats. Braves have 12 hits tonight, 10 of them singles. And they've scored 6 runs. Joe said it a million times. Put the ball in play, something good can happen. Atlanta has struck out just 3 times in the first 5+ innings tonight. High fly toward left. Heisey is under it. Two outs. Dan Uggla hits.
First 2 guys in the order, 6 for 8 tonight. Scored 3 of the runs. They've driven in 2 of them.
Breaking ball. Dan ducks underneath. 1 ball, no strikes.
Talking to Dan yesterday about his high school career, and I said, did you play other sports? He said, yeah, baseball and football throughout high school. I kind of gave up basketball my freshman year.
One and two.
He looks like a wrestler too, a high school wrestler, and I asked him about that, and he said, no, I get asked that a lot, but we didn't have wrestling at my high school.
Popped up. Long run, Frazier and Cozart. It'll be the third baseman, Frazier, and that retires the side. 7th inning in Atlanta. Brought to you in part by Blimpie, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Georgia Power, and by Nissan. 4 straight solid starts by the Atlanta starting pitching staff as Tim Hudson leads tonight by a 6-0 score. Let's hope for another tomorrow. Our Chevron pitching matchup for Game 1 of the Marlins series.
A couple good left-handers going there tomorrow night. Mike Minor 2-2 on the year. Mark Burley 2-4. But a good ERA though, so he's been pitching well.
Frazier deep short and past to diving Jack Wilson. Leadoff single starts the Cincinnati 7th.
He's come up with a ton of runners on base in this series, this 2-game series, and hadn't been able to find a hole. Remember, Hudson made a good play on him on that comebacker, first and second in the 4th inning. So he finally gets a base hit and there's nobody on. That's just as well.
So here's Hannigan, Reds catcher. It's news when you beat Cincinnati with this guy behind the plate. Coming into play tonight, they were 15-5 when Hannigan's started. Staff ERA of 2.43. None of that worked tonight. Cueto gave up 5 earned runs in his 4 innings. The Braves are shutting out the Reds 6-0. Hudson very efficient again tonight. He's thrown 85 pitches. He's scattered 6 hits. And this one might be trouble in the corner. It is. And off the wall. Frazier around third will be green lighted. There will be no throw, and there goes the shutout. 6-1 now your score as Hannigan drives home his 3rd run. Another Reds double.
Like a sinker, it didn't sink. Tried to turn it over and it didn't.
Yeah, kind of stayed up in the zone a little bit, and that gave him the opportunity to get the bat on it and keep it fair.
Mike Costanzo will pinch hit now. Simon worked 2 scoreless innings, had runners all over the place. Allowed 4 hits. So Costanzo on the first pitch bounces right back to Hudson. He struck out on 3 pitches last night. Cozart 0 for 2. Braves organist Matthew Kaminsky with a little Mozart for Cozart. For his walk-up music, 1 ball, no strikes. To short. Wilson gobbles that up. Win an autographed game-used jersey from your favorite Braves player. Jerseys will be from the June 15th game against the Orioles and can be bid on through the Braves Foundation online auction May 14th through June 2nd. To place a bid, visit braves.com/jersey auction. Drew Stubbs, the hitter. And takes an inside corner strike. Eric O'Flaherty getting ready in the Braves pen. Hudson at 90 pitches in the game. And a line drive into right center. Bourne plays it on a hop. His throw toward the plate can't be cut off. And scoring easily is Hannigan. It's now a 6-2 game. Stubbs with RBI number 11.
Well, they're making a ball game of it. Cutter to the outside part of the plate. Nice swing by Stubbs. And Michael Bourne came up throwing, but really didn't have much of a play.
Now you've got to face Votto. The lead's now 4. Hudson's held him in check so far. Votto 0 for 3.
And 0 for 9 in his career against Tim.
Look at our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. How about Matt Kemp? Went on the disabled list. He was baseball's Iron Man.
I mean, that just puts into perspective Cal Ripken streak.
Kemp hurt a hamstring. As that one almost took Hudson's cap off. Streaking around second is Stubbs. He's got terrific speed, and the Reds threatening now first and third with 2 outs. That is Votto's first ever hit against Hudson. And now Roger McDowell trots to the center of the diamond. It's getting a little dicey here in the 7th inning. Phillips is coming up.
And remember, we talked about him early in the game when he hit the first pitch he saw of the night, a deep fly to center. In the 4th, he came up with 1 out, and on the first pitch he saw, he lined a single to center. So be careful here on the first one.
From your perspective, Tommy, Tim's stuff still crisp in the ballgame?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's missed his spots a little bit here in this inning, but you know, not too bad. But I think that's part of the mentality of pitching with a 1-run lead versus a 6-run lead. You're not trying to make every pitch like if you make a mistake you're going to lose the ball game, so you lose a little bit of that edge. And you know, obviously right here against Brandon Phillips, he wants to try and get that back and end this inning and turn it over to the bullpen.
There's a good start. Is that tough to get back?
No, because you know, it usually only takes a hit here or 2, you know, and then you start kind of getting ticked off at yourself, and it's like, all right, come on, let's go, let's get that mentality back together. And you know, so it doesn't take long, and that was a perfect pitch to start Brandon Phillips with right there, that slider down out of the zone.
Still got a good enough four-seamer to keep him honest. That was 90.
One ball, 1 strike. Reds runners first and third. They've scored twice in the inning. There's a good pitch. 2-2. Fly ball center. Michael Bourne is under it, and Hudson's out of the 7th inning, allowing just a couple of Reds runs. 2 runs, 4 hits. Time to stretch. 6-2. Braves still have the lead. Trucks by the Georgia Lottery, by AT&T, and by McDonald's. The Braves have a 4-run lead as we head to the home half of inning number 7. Hope you're enjoying the ball game tonight. Tim Hudson's pitched another beauty, and the crowd at Turner Field hoping to see Atlanta leapfrog ahead of the Nationals and back into first place in National League Eastern Division play. Atlanta's offense will take aim at a familiar face. Young J.J. Hoover pitches for the first time in the series tonight.
The Reds got him from the Braves in the trade for Juan Francisco right at the end of spring training. 6'3", 230 out of Pittsburgh. Had never pitched in the big leagues for the Braves, but last year combined between Mississippi and Gwinnett, he went 3-6, and split time between the rotation and out of the bullpen. But he's done a good job for the Reds. 7 games and a 1.23 ERA.
Who knows, we might see Francisco if the Braves can put together a big inning here in the 7th. As Brian McCann has a perfect night at the plate. He's homered, walked, and singled. Popped up. Frazier and Cozart. 1 out.
Hoover got called up April 24th when Bill Bray went on the disabled list. He had started the year at Louisville after they got him April 1st.
Butterflies for him, Tommy, facing his former organization.
Yeah, it's a little bit. There's always that feeling of wanting to prove the organization wrong, so to speak, like they made a mistake letting you go.
He slipped the first pitch past Jason. An RBI double on his line tonight. Now a blooper down the third base line that will bounce off the top of the Reds dugout into the seats.
Rated as the 12th best prospect in the Braves organization when he was traded, and in 2010 had a great year. Started at Myrtle Beach and went 11-6 and finished up 3-1 in Double-A.
Another pop up, this one to second. Brandon Phillips. And 2 are out. Crowd tonight 21,530. Looking forward to big crowds when we come back from our upcoming road trip to Tampa Bay and Cincinnati. We'll have the Nationals and the Cardinals in. That will end the month of May. And for many in Braves country, school will be out of session. So hopefully we'll see plenty of kids at the ballpark for the weekend series. Our first look at the Nationals. And that very good Cardinal offense coming in May 28th, 29th, and 30th. See if Eric Hinske can join the hit parade. Atlanta has 12 of them tonight. He has reached with a walk. That came in the 3rd inning when the Braves broke the game open, scoring 4 times off Cueto. And Phillips handles a tricky hop. And that sends this game to inning number 8. 6-2. Braves lead game 2. Inning number 8. And time for our McDonald's fans of the game.
Nice looking family enjoying a beautiful night for baseball.
Best seats in the house as you take a look at our AT&T call to the bullpen. Tim Hudson out after 7 innings of 2-run baseball. He'll give way to Chris Medlin, who's on for the 16th time this season.
Good work for Chris. He picked up a win on the road trip. Seems like he's got an ERA that's a lot more microscopic than that. Gets charged with some odd runs at times, but he's really pitched well.
You know, we were talking earlier about the decisions that general managers have to make, managers have to make. And ultimately the decisions pitching coaches have to make with regards to innings limits for major league pitchers. There are some around Braves country who had wondered early in the season why Chris Medlin wasn't in the starting rotation for this club. And fires a pitch right past Jay Bruce for the first out. Well, the rationale was, 1, he's coming off Tommy John surgery. Number 2, he's never pitched more than 122 innings at any level. And the Braves feel that Chris Medlin's going to be pitching valuable and important innings for this ball club at some point, and they want to avoid the potential scenario facing Steven Strasburg and have Medlin available to pitch in those meaningful September games.
Well, he certainly has the stuff to be a starter. I mean, we saw that when he had the opportunity to pitch in that role. But, you know, at the same time, I agree with everything they're talking about and wanting to do. And what makes all that possible is Beachy Minor and Randall Delgado. You got young guys like that you can plug into your rotation, and in Delgado's case, on the back end of your rotation, you can afford to be a little bit more cautious with a guy like Medlin.
2 quick strikes to Chris Heisey. But what a weapon, guys. You can use Medlin maybe 45 or 50 times this year instead of 25 or 30 times.
Funny things happen coming down the stretch, too. It gets to be those dog days of August. Guys wear down a little bit. Nice to have him be able to step in and start if need be then.
Lined over short. And there's that man again, Chris Heisey. His 3rd hit of the night, his 6th hit of the series. He came in hitting .233. So here's Frazier. Tim Hudson got a ton of runs to play with and pitched very well again tonight. He's in line for his 2nd victory of the season if the Braves can pick up 5 more outs. And strike 1 to Frazier. See Dusty Baker on the railing of the Reds dugout. 1,502 managerial wins with the Reds, the Cubs, and the Giants in the major leagues. He's 69 wins away from 19th place all time, which is Dick Williams.
Is that right? He's got the all-time record for toothpicks.
I was just going to say, how did he start the whole toothpick thing, you know?
I think it was a substitute for
dipping or something?
Yeah. Chewbacca.
That's a good substitute. Who was it? There was the player that used to
UL
Washington, right? Yeah, that's right. Now I'm showing my age. I knew that.
High pop fly by Frazier. This will be Martin Prado in left. And 2 men are out in the Cincinnati 8. Fans, B.O.B. will perform a free post-game show Saturday, June 16th. That's brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta. Watch the Braves battle the Orioles and stay for the free concert as B.O.B. performs hits from his newly released album. Visit Braves.com/concerts for tickets today. Call them albums anymore, or is it CDs?
You know, I saw one of the late shows last night. They were talking about somebody had a new album out. It was a big album cover. Shocked me.
Like vinyl?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Here's Hannigan. So I guess it is the new album.
It's probably still the same terminology, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not an 8-track.
We can remember those too.
I was just going to say, if remembering UL Washington makes you feel old, I played with him. Okay.
That caught a corner, 2 balls and a strike. He had to dig that out at first. And on that skip throw, Joe West asks the ball to be thrown out of play, and it was.
4-run ball game, 2 outs. If you can get Hannigan here and can get the following 3, then you don't have to ever worry about pitching, or don't have to worry about pitching to Joey Votto again, at least in this brief 2-game series.
Again, we saw what he did Sunday. The Reds a gigantic comeback. Votto with a walk-off game-winning grand slam. 3-homer day.
Good pitch by Chris there, right on the corner. 3-1.
So Hinsky will play behind Heisey at first. And now a 3-2 pitch. And it's shot through the right side. Streaking around second is Heisey. He'll make it to third without a play. First and third for Cincinnati now with 2 outs. The Reds again will go to their bench.
Beginning to get a feel for Hannigan too. I mean, the first 2 times up he tried to pull the ball and was retired pretty easily, but the last 2 times up he's gone to right field successfully.
They did a nice job right there with the runner moving and shooting one in that hole.
More classical walk-up music. Some Ryan Ludwig von Beethoven. First and third, 2 outs. Ludwig signed a 1-year contract with a club option for the 2013 season. He had some horrible injury problems in the early days of his career. And then with the Cardinals, 2007, 8, and 9 really blossomed. Had a 37-homer, 113 RBI year in 2008, where he hit .299. And spent a year and a half in San Diego. Last year, just 38 games. I'll take that back. 101 games with the Padres, 38 games with the Pirates.
Two good fastballs to start this at bat. Well located at the knees.
High fly ball toward left. And Medlin is out of the Reds' 8th. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Cincinnati has stranded 9. And they trail 6-2. Our Blimpie game summary.
Michael Bourne and Martin Prado at the top of the order, 6 for 8 tonight, doing a lot of the damage. Brian McCann, a homer, his 6th of the year, with 1 out in the 2nd. And Tim Hudson had him shut out until they got 2 runs across against him in his last inning of work, the 7th.
As you see, Jose Arredondo is on for game number 16. J.J. Hoover worked a 1-2-3, bottom of the 7th.
Well, they got some guys coming out of the bullpen with some huge strikeout numbers.
Arredondo was spectacular in 2008. He was 10-2 with a 1.62 ERA out of the Angels bullpen. Then had Tommy John surgery. Didn't play in 2010, coming back from that. And then last year with the Reds, 4-4 in 53 outings. Popped back our way. And out of reach off the bat of Jack Wilson.
Jack's had some tough luck tonight. He's got a base hit. He's 2 at bats after his single in the 3rd inning. Actually got 2 at bats that inning. He hit that shallow into right field, and Bruce made a nice running catch to end the inning, and then hit a laser to 3rd base that Frazier made a good play on.
Juan Francisco's on deck. He would bat from Medlin. Wilson's down swinging. There's one of those strikeouts Joe was talking about. 1 man down. Don't forget to stay with us for Braves Live, presented by AT&T. We'll hear from Braves skipper Freddie Gonzalez. We'll get sound from the locker room, and we'll have all of tonight's highlights. Braves need 3 defensive outs to split the series with Cincinnati and move back into first place in the National League East. We've seen J.J. Hoover, the man acquired by the Reds for Juan Francisco, stands in the batter's box with 1 out.
Talked to Dusty Baker about Juan Francisco yesterday. Dusty said the guy can hit, and he's got great power. If he gets enough at bats to be able to get any kind of a consistent swing, he could really do some damage.
Dusty
at least at the end of spring training, it didn't look like he was going to get enough of those at bats because Scott Rowland figured to play every day, and he was out of options.
One ball, 1 strike. Now 1-2. Only time will tell if the Reds
would wish they had Juan still on their roster. Roland's hurt. May not play again for quite some time, if at all, the rest of the season with a bad shoulder. And Arredondo misses under the chin. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Just a little former teammate reminder.
Right into the shift. And Cozart with the second base bag is there. 2 outs. Remember as much shifting in your day, Tommy, as we've seen the first 2 months?
No, there wasn't. I mean, there was a handful of guys every now and then you'd see it, but nothing like today. Of course, they have access to so much more information nowadays.
Did you like defensive shifts behind you, or did you just want to pitch your game and have infielders and outfielders in standard position?
I guess the only one I never really liked was with a left-handed hitter up, taking the third baseman out of there and moving him somewhere on the right side of the field, and then inevitably you make that pitch and the guy hits a squibber down the line, and you're like, man, if we just would have left the guy there, that would have been an out. Yeah. So, but probably for every one of those, there was probably 5 that you got an out because you had the shift, but you never remember those. You only remember the hits you give up because of it.
Big night for Michael Bourne. 3 singles, 2 runs. And now a 1-2 count. And that's over the outside corner. Arredondo, an impressive 8th inning. Reds have a good bullpen, but their starter tonight had problems, and Atlanta took big advantage.
Cincinnati Reds, and time for tonight's Toyota play of the game. And for tonight, we're going to feature Martin Prado and what he's done tonight. He's got 3 hits. He's got 1 to right that drove in a run. Key at bat in the 3rd inning. He's got 1 to left that, thanks to a boot by Heisey, got a run in. And he's got a single to center. So he's used the whole field. We talk about using the whole field. There it is for Martin Prado. And then his hit chart, if you will. Pretty good pattern there for a guy batting second and a guy you need to be able to go to right field.
Yeah, it's tough to put a shift on that. You got base hits everywhere.
Good work by Martin tonight.
His second 3-hit game of the year. And now the AT&T call to the bullpen goes to Craig Kimbrel with the top of the Reds order coming up. 6-2 is the Atlanta lead. And like Aroldis Chapman facing the Braves offense, Reds hitters had better tune it up. Kimbrel's already at 97 miles an hour tonight.
And he's had 4 days rest. And Fredi Gonzalez not taking any chances, even in a non-save situation, to bring him in here against the top of the order.
The outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Foxtrack says it shaved the line.
Fly ball to center. And there's the first out of the 9th inning.
Funny thing, last Thursday, day off in St. Louis, a bunch of guys went to play golf, including Kimbrel, Livan Hernandez, and Mike Minor. They played together, and I asked Craig afterwards, said, how'd you play? And he goes, it was so bad I don't even want to say that I played golf. And then I see Minor come down to the lobby off the elevator. I said, how'd you play today? And he goes, oh, I don't play very much. You know, I don't get out very often. I said, what'd you shoot? And he pointed at Kimbrel and said, better than him.
Drew Stubbs. What I like about the way Craig's pitching, as you said, Joe, a non-save situation. Sometimes closers don't have their A stuff. Looks like he's got it tonight. There's no messing around. That one hit 100. That's what the crowd is buzzing about, and it was low to even the count.
I think typically you'll see the higher numbers on low pitches.
Little flare down the first base line. Eric Hinsky, great effort, can't get there. And the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We approach the 10 o'clock hour tonight. If you're wondering why Freddie Freeman's not in the lineup, we covered that in the pregame show on Braves Live. Freddie has some scratches on his cornea that are being attended to by the Braves training staff and Dr. Alan Kozarski. It's hopeful that Freddie will be in the lineup sooner rather than later. But it was a contact lens issue. Got to get the eyes healed before they can think about lenses or even corrective glasses. So
yeah, but he made a beeline to the office over there last night after the game. They started treatment last night.
Little pop, shallow right, and Dan Uggla makes a good running catch.
As solid as Dan is, and not sure where the right fielder is, he doesn't want any part of that freight train coming in from right.
No, he's especially in that situation. He's looking back over his shoulder and pretty vulnerable. I wouldn't want to run into Jason Hayward right there.
And here's a great matchup. Kimbrel and Votto in the 9th inning. Votto trying to keep the game alive for Cincinnati. Kimbrel trying to end it for the Braves.
lot more fun to watch with a 4-run lead than it would have been with a 1-run lead.
Didn't it, though? Great job by the Braves offense in that 4-run third inning after Tim Hudson wasn't able to advance the runner with a bunt. 3 straight hits after that, and then a sacrifice fly. And then a double later by Hayward.
2-2. Now the Braves 1 strike away from knocking their second opposing starter from the ranks of the unbeaten in a week.
Has he thrown a slider yet?
I don't think he has.
All gas.
Just taking a little off every now and throwing one 98, 97.
There was the breaking ball, but Votto took it low. Votto walks with 2 outs. First walk of the night for Votto, his 34th of the season. And Brandon Phillips, the batter. Phillips 1 for 4 in the game. He has a 4th inning single.
Remember that first pitch.
Remember, you've got Bruce and Heisey after Phillips. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. 4-run game. 2 outs. And now 2-0.
I don't think Brandon has any intention of swinging. He doesn't appear to be in his normal stance. As he prepares to hit, I think he's waiting until he throws him a strike. He's going to make him. Because his run doesn't mean anything. They need to get him on and one more.
And 4 straight. Phillips aboard, back-to-back walks.
Sometimes, to me, Tommy, when Craig does get into these spells, I'll call it, it seems like he's really overthrowing. He came in really fresh. He's airing it out. He gets 2 quick outs, and then all of a sudden, 100's not hard enough. He's trying to throw it 105.
Yeah, he's trying to, instead of just being nice and easy and throwing 100, he's trying to muscle up and throw 100, and then the next thing you know, you walk a guy, then you get in a hurry to try and get the inning over with, and next thing you know, the strike zone's kind of dancing around on you a little bit.
He misses to Bruce.
Wow. I'm really surprised he's swinging.
Yeah, threw what, 6 straight,
7
straight balls, and then you swing at a pitch like that.
See if that gets Kimbrel back on the beam. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slider, 1-2.
And he took a little off of that. He didn't try to overthrow it.
Yep, that's just a nice under control, not trying to overpower the pitch.
Ground ball to short. Wilson's got it. And the Braves have beaten the Reds. Final score, Atlanta 6, Cincinnati 2. Braves are back in first in the East, a half game ahead of the Nationals. And we'll get back into Eastern Division play with the Miami Marlins here in Atlanta tomorrow night. More after this.